Okay, we're back. I'm Howard Nema. We had a power failure of some strange thing and happened there, but Chris Freedom Flowers is back. Barbara Hartwell is done for the day here with us on We Are Change Connecticut. The aggravation and stress of this exacerbates her conditions, and she's really not feeling well, and she's in a lot of pain, so she won't be joining us for the rest of the broadcast. And that's sad because in the next hour, at the top of the hour, we'll be having Dr. Antonella Carpenter joining us with Randy Simmons of MedicalConspiracy.com and LaysMed Inc., who were literally put out of business by the FDA Gestapo for having an alternative cure for cancer that works. That's a threat to the medical mafia. So we were hoping to continue going into a lot of the details of the COINTELPRO with Barbara, but so we could shift gears a little. Chris Freedom Flowers is with me. I have to pull up your picture again because everything crashed. Let's talk about this crash. What do you think happened, man? And your phone went out at the same time that I got hit. We got hit with something. Some sort of a directed energy weapon we could talk about, because I know you wanted to do a whole show on that at one time.
Well, I know that my phone, when we were on the break, it just went off. And I figured it wasn't charged, that maybe it died, so I clicked on my phone and my battery was fully charged. So I don't know what happened, so I called the fiancée quickly just to let her know that everything was okay on our end with the station. And I let her go, and then I tried to call the station, I couldn't get through, then I called the end and I finally got through. So something happened, because it happened at the exact same time that you went off the air.
Well, that's exactly what happened then, because I'm telling you, nothing. I mean, I'm doing the show, and the fuse in my room, the fuse that goes into this studio and the basement lights, blew. That's what happened.
Yeah, so you got zapped.
I got zapped. Isn't it nice? Happened the last time they did this, the last time they zapped us when Barbara was on, well, not the last time they zapped us. They zapped us 2 times after that because I refused to use the high-def camera. I used to use a high-def camera and back up the audio and the video live, and they fried the camera, Chris. Destroyed it. The hard drive's fried. The camera goes on and you can look at it. It's beautiful, but it won't. The hard drive's fried. It doesn't operate. And it's an expensive camera, so fixing it is like, it was an older camera at the time. It was like $2,000, but it was a good camera. Now those type of cameras are like, I don't know, maybe $1,000. I don't know, but for the same technology. But it's fried, and I still have it. It's evidence. I keep it. I still have it. And that was the very first time Barbara was on our show, and I got zapped, and the same exact thing happened. So, I don't believe in coincidences with the New World Order.
No. And we were going into something heavy here, too.
We were going into deep stuff, and we'll continue, so. But while I'm talking to you, you do some talking, because I'm going to look up your picture so people know who you look like. Because I had it all nice. I was broadcasting with your image, and it's gone. Everything's gone, So go ahead. So let's talk about these directed energy weapons a little bit. You know a lot about that. You probably know more than I do.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about one weapon in particular, and it's kind of scary. Everybody's familiar with HARP, but a lot of people don't know about the mobile HARP weapon that they have, which they usually they use it by traveling on the sea or the ocean. But they also have them so small that they travel in bands. Okay, so they can just drive by your house, and it's like a modified HARP weapon that emits kind of the similar technology as an electric magnetic pulse. And so they just drive by your house, they zap you, and that's it. Everything is shut off. And it's happened to people in the truth movement who I've talked to before on the radio stations, and it continues now. And it's so easy because you don't even know what's going on. You can be sitting at your house on air, and then, this freaking van drives by, and the next thing you know, you're out of business, so to speak. And it's not just that they use. They have these planes, which are kind of like drones, which they fly at low altitude, and they can fly over your house And this I got actually this information regarding these drones. They're very tiny. I got these from two former Marines that now live in Vancouver. And they told me this on air when I was currently with Informed Radio about two and a half years ago. So it's quite interesting, because I didn't know nothing about these low-flying, very small drones that are probably about 12 feet in length. And they just fly over your house, and they're silent. You don't even hear them, and that's the creepy part. But that goes with the whole, alien. I don't want to talk about alien technology, but, I mean, if you're familiar with UFO stories, then you know there's no sound that comes with the UFOs. So anyway, these drones, they don't have sound. They don't emit sound. You don't even know they're there. They fly mostly at night, and during the day they are kind of camouflaged because the glare on the sun that hits them, it kind of blocks them out. So that's another scary weapon that's used.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of things they have that they have these directed energy weapons that also not only send they could kill you. I mean,
well, yeah. Well, you're familiar, Howard, with NROL 32?
No. What's that?
Okay. Well, it was a so-called satellite that was sent up by NASA into space, and it was for basically monitoring people, if you will. And I did a whole show about this technology, and in actuality, what it is, it's a weapon that can be used to beam down a certain frequency to a certain individual that could actually kill you.
Right.
Okay. It's based on nanotechnology, and if you have these nanobytes inside of you, and there was a guy that we had, I won't give his last name, but his first name is Carl, and he was actually in prison in Montreal. He's an American. He was incarcerated for drawing pictures about George Bush.
Oh, really?
W. Bush.
What a free country we live in.
Yeah. And so he was actually put into prison here in Montreal because he is out from Montreal. So, and he was living in the United States at the time. So they extradited him back here, but he had nanotechnology, I guess you'd call these nanobots, inside of him where they were making him sick. And he was vomiting, and every time he would call into the radio station from prison, okay, something strange would happen. Like we would lose frequency on the station, or, he would start to get sick on air. And he would be talking, and then he would just, cut off. And we went months without hearing from this guy, and I still haven't heard from him, and it's been probably about 2 years. So I don't know where this guy is. I don't know if this guy's dead or alive.
I'm just thinking that maybe that they did hit us with this thing here, and that's why, again, you lost your phone, I lost the computer, and the whole room went, the whole circuit blew. And Barbara is now complaining of pain, and quite frankly, she has chips in her. I mean, she went on record on my show a long while back that she has not, she has several microchips in her. So,
well, these microchips are used to activate certain areas of the body,
right,
to target certain areas of the body to cause ailments.
Could be.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, it could be. I mean, this is speculation, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be straight out saying it. But it's very curious, when things like this happen, and they happen so consistently. It's not really speculation. But the technology exists, and that's why we want to make you aware of it. That they can do things that are far beyond, hundreds of years. Wouldn't you say, Chris, 100 years beyond what they show us?
I would say at least, yeah.
What would be, yeah. It's unreal.
Weapons that you can't see with the naked eye. You can film it on video, but you can't, like UFOs, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that these are not man-made? That it's not a technology that is far advanced beyond what we know.
That's what I've come to determine, and a lot of other people that at first believed in the extraterrestrial. And I think that the whole propaganda of the ETs, everything, and all these movies about aliens, I think it's all to sort of prime people to believe in a good alien hoax, you know.
Oh, yeah, and that ties into Project Blue Beam, which is supposed to it's actually already been activated.
Yes.
And there's 4 steps to that. And we're already in, if you like, you know, really think about it, you look at the 4 steps, we're already well into this project being, I guess, imprinted upon society.
Yes.
And the last step is to actually have this technology of UFOs attacking, which will be kind of like holographic in a way, attacking the human race. And people are going to think it's really aliens from Mars or wherever attacking us, when in fact it's just going to be our own government and our own scientists attacking us.
I mean, it could very well be. Again, you know, see what we always, you know, what we realize, because of there is just so much potential for evil, that it could be many things. It could be the biological. It could be like Captain Trips. They put out a biological and kill, you know, most of the people. But that, of course, always, anything that goes quickly requires more effort to clean up. I mean, and they'll think about these things. They'll cogitate these in their think tanks, in their counseled meetings, and then you have the obvious weather weapons that can kill people, like what we had with these storms recently, and earthquakes, and I mean, there are so many ways they can kill us. And then now you sound you're paranoid. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are not. This is just, there are so many ways they could put in their final solution, which is the depopulation agenda. So many ways they can enslave us first, and then slowly depopulate us by will, which is the easiest way. To get us to give up our rights and give up everything so that they can just take everything. And then now you need to have, you know, you want to get food, you have to get this shot, you know, that kind of thing. Right? Exactly.
You know, yeah, and to go a little bit off topic here, all you've heard in the mainstream media during this Frankenstein interview, which is a good name for it.
It is a good name.
Sandy, all they've been focused on, they weren't focusing on the people, they weren't focusing on how many people were hurt or killed. They were focusing on the election and how this could delay the election.
Yeah, and they were talking about, and Bloomberg wanted to have the marathon. I can't believe, but that just shows the mentality. $340 million of revenue comes into the city. Not for the, you know, for the business, for the economy. Oh, so what? Then have it 2 weeks later. People that need help. I mean, see, that just shows you how they think. These elitists, they have different mindsets. They don't care. The people in Staten Island, listen, I come from New York City. I lived in Queens. I grew up in Bayside, and I owned a home in Fresh Meadows before I moved to Connecticut. I lived 38 years of my life in New York, so I'm a New Yorker. You know, you can take me out of New York, but you can never take New York out of me. And people in Staten Island are being abandoned, and they were talking about having a clean out the Holland Tunnel to get it all ready for this race, while they're cleaning bodies out of the poorer sections of Staten Island, which again have no Red Cross, have no, just like Katrina. And let me tell you, they're not showing this, but it's the truth, because I got videos of it. I got friends that are there. That they're so slow again to get to the areas that don't have wealth.
And you don't want people, I want the people out there who are listening to really look into organizations like the Red Cross, okay? Because
the Rothschilds created the Red Cross.
For sure. Yeah. The Red Shield. That is the banner of the Rothschilds. So, you know the Rothschilds owns all of these organizations, these foundations, charities. Don't give money to these people. If you really want to help people, you send money to these people directly, or you go there, you help them.
The best way is to do something yourself, right? For somebody else, or like if you're giving food, give food to people. Food, not money to go buy food. Food to your people that need it. Yeah, no, you're right, and they're all shills. Oh my God, the World Wildlife Fund, founded by the eugenicist Nazi Prince what's his name? Oh my God, Prince Philip, and he's all in that with Prince Bernard putting their little touches on there, and all of the others. UNICEF, it's unbelievable. They put they put like, you know, Angelina Jolie and Alyssa Milano to send money to help these children. Do you think since I was 5 years old seeing these commercials, and I'm 45, do you think that, you know, they would have solved this problem already? They've been collecting money for 45 years, 40 years.
Yeah.
Where's the results?
Millions of dollars were raised for the earthquake that they had in Haiti, okay? A lot of people died. Even Sean Penn went on air and stated, do not give money to these organizations because all the money you're giving and all the food that you're giving them are locked up in the warehouse. Nobody can get in there. There are acres upon acres of food, okay, in these warehouses, and they're still sitting there. These people are not getting their food, and it's a couple of years later.
It's eugenicist. It's eugenicism. It's eugenics. It's people don't understand how we are being slowly depopulated. How these elitists, these Darwinists, these secular humanists, whatever you want to call them, you know, Gaia people, New Age, spewing. See, all these isms are all.
Well, that's another thing, Howard. We have to get onto a topic of when we do a show, and I think Harry Link would be awesome to do this with us because he's of the same mindset with us when it comes to the New Age movement and ideology, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something that really needs to be exposed because this is the final plan in Project Bluebeam. Okay, so, like I'm not a religious person. Everybody knows that. But the fact that they want to take away your right to believe in what you want, the fact that they want to wipe out organized religion all over the planet, even if you don't believe in it, they want to destroy it and usher in the New Age philosophy.
That's right. That's exactly what they're doing, and it's Luciferian, as you know, and that's exactly what it is. And again, I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not really I'm not a religious person. But I have my beliefs, and everybody has the right to believe whatever they want. If you want to worship a cabbage, go ahead, worship a cabbage. I don't care. You know, you have a right to do that. They can't tell us, but they want to, but they want us to embrace it. You see, they want us. Yeah. They don't want to force it upon us. You see, that's what everyone doesn't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. We give it up. It's almost like the vampire can't come in the room unless you invite him in, and the way to invite him in is by, oh wow, I love that those stones, and that's really cool, and they have energy in them. Oh, that's awesome, and they're like really colorful. Wow, that's awesome. And then what else? Oh wow. You mean that we could just sit out here in stillness and listen to the waves and think about our consciousness and forget about anything except just the world and nature and and our ultimate potential, and that we have to keep ourselves healthy. It all sounds great, doesn't it? Doesn't that all sound wonderful? I want to join.
Let me tell you about a personal experience, Howard, with someone that I considered a friend who really hurt the feelings of my fiancée and myself when we brought him down about a year and a half ago for a visit. And I'm going to name his name on air. I don't care. He's a straight-up New Age follower, like straight up. He doesn't. He believes in the Illuminati and New World Order, but for him, it's not important. That's what his own words were. For him, it was about spiritually growing himself. To hell with everybody else. That was the way he basically put it. It's all about him ascending. And his name is Rob Corindero. Okay, he's from the Ontario area. And he's been friends with us for quite a few years. And he was basically the way we were, freedom fighters. And then he just turned into this odd, kind of selfish New Ager. So we brought him down for about a week and a half. And everything was going fine. Until I was doing that radio show and he was at my house listening. And then he had the audacity to say to me, You should stop with that foul language and stop fighting with people and just forget about everything else. Throw it all away. Don't do radio anymore. Don't bother with helping to wake people up. Just focus on yourself and try to awaken your inner spirit. So I got upset. I basically told this person to go fuck yourself. You know, that this is the truth movement is not about me. It's about helping other people. It's about sharing information and knowledge. It's not about to stroke my ego, and it's not about to spiritually grow myself into this higher being. Okay?
Exactly. It's not about us at all, Chris.
Yeah. So he got upset, and after that, everything was okay. Then he left to go home. While he was on the road, on his way home, he sent me a message on Facebook via his mobile phone, saying that I was a lunatic, that I was crazy, that I'll never ascend into the higher realms of reality or something like that, and that I'm going to be stuck in this for eternity. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we left on good terms, you know, you're giving us a hug and all this, and you're bashing me while you are like 300 or 400 miles away. So I said, if there's somebody that's a lunatic, it's you, Rob. You're the crazy one. Because you're not thinking about anybody else. You're thinking about yourself. There are people out there that need to be awakened. There are people out there that need information. Even if you reach one person, you're doing a good thing.
Right.
But for him, he did not care.
Well, again, it's this selfishness. You know, we're hitting on some really key elements of the New World Order. That it is the self, the century of the self. Have you ever seen that film? I posted it on Truth Talk Night at the Movies. And boy, did they hate that film on the internet. It's a BBC documentary all about Edward Bernays and how they've mind controlled us to buy things that we don't need and love it and need it and get drug addicted if we don't get what these trinkets they wish to sell to us. You know, it's very big part of it, materialism, and then there are people that are right out there like Madonna who's straight out right in front of your face, Illuminati, saying I'm a material girl. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
But that's the point. And everybody strives for the material, and they make it look. Everybody's homes on all these TV shows, they all have beautiful homes. They all have then the TV shows selling homes. They're all $1 million homes, things that the average people cannot ever have. But they make you want to strive for it, like putting this carrot in front of you to go for them and go into debt and try to slave yourself so that you can look rich and you can maybe have a good front. I mean, it's like sickening, like the people that live in a hovel and they drive a BMW. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's that philosophy that because it's all about me, the self. And when you lose that and you come to see that you understand that you just need what you need to survive and maybe to be able to, you know, have you know, a little bit of joy in your life, go out to a movie, go on a vacation. It's not about trying to go into debt to become something that you'll never be. Because they want you to be that way. They want you to strive for things that are impossible for the average person. Now that doesn't mean success is the same thing. It's like they're lazy. You're sitting on a couch saying that you want to do this, making, you know, whatever money that you're making, and if you're making $200,000 a year, you're living on $300,000. That's the way it's been done. This is part of the plan. Speak to that a little, Chris. I mean, you agreed, right? I mean, that it doesn't matter how much money you make. You've been brainwashed into this society, so that's why people live beyond their means. If you got a BMW, I want to get a Rolls Royce, you know?
Yeah, or if my best friend has a brand new car, I need a brand new car.
Right.
Or his house is bigger than mine, I need to get a house that's the size of his. Or every time you go shopping, say if you want to go to Walmart, okay, we all know what Walmart is.
Yeah.
You go in there and you're like, before you go in there, you have a list of the things that you need. And it might cost a couple of $100, but when you come out of there, you spend over $1,000. And then you get home and you're like, why did I buy all this stuff? Well, it's subliminal messaging for number one.
Yeah.
Okay, because they do it over the PA system. A lot of people don't know about that.
Yes.
Subliminal messaging on their TVs when they're playing certain commercials on the TVs when you're in the store. Subliminal messaging.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Also in the sales signs, 25 cents off or a bag of cat food or something. Oh yeah, I'm going to get that, but that's a subliminal message as well, because with that message there's something else hidden that you can't see with your eyes, only subconsciously.
Yeah, I read a book called Subliminal Seduction that was written in the 70s. It's an awesome book, and it went into that. Like in the old, well, now again, they just started really getting back to putting liquor ads, in America at least, on television. Liquor ads were taken off the air, like when they took the cigarette ads off, so they only had print. So the print ads on the liquor, they would have like a scotch, for example, would have a glass of ice with the scotch in there, and it's all looks all really nice, but subliminally there are naked women in the scotch, in the ice cubes, and yeah, this is all done, and it was supposedly made illegal, just like so many things that they supposedly make illegal. Yeah.
Well, you look at some of the stuff that are legalized today that should not be legal, and we're going to be touching upon this subject in the next hour, and that is pharmaceutical drugs. I don't like the term medication because they don't medicate people in a positive manner. They are narcotics.
Yeah, this is going to be great. I mean, because for those out there that are not aware about Chris Freedom Flowers' background, Chris Freedom Flowers is a medical professional and knows more about pharmaceuticals than most. And then we'll be discussing with another holistic person who is Dr. Carpenter. This is going to be really amazing because you know how this works. You know the death culture of the hospital system, the hospice system. You go on hospice, it just means let's kill them, let's give them the drip,
They call it the cocktail comfort care.
Thank you.
And it's just basically a mixture of morphine, dilaudid, Ativan, Ribotril, and it's all these medications that are basically designed to stop your heart while you are in a semi-comatose state, and they claim that you don't feel it. Bullshit. You feel it. Your body is paralyzed in the sense that you can't move your muscles, but you can still feel it. You feel it when your heart stops. Talk to anybody that's ever went through cardiac arrest and came back, and they'll tell you they felt it. I hear family members say, "Oh, look, he died with a peaceful smile on his face." No, that's not a smile. That's a grimace. That's what I'm saying in my head. No, that's not a smile.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, Chris. And then again, the whole healthcare industry, and especially you're in a socialized system up there in Canada already, and you know what a nightmare it is. And this is what they're trying to put here with the Obamacare. And
certain drugs that on our insurance are covered. Certain drugs are not covered.
Yes, for example, here's a great thing. My wife, of course, we have health insurance, and my wife wants to get. Instead of a mammogram, she wants to get a thermal scan, and Dr. Carpenter actually recommended doing that. So she calls the doctor, and, "Oh yeah, we can do that, but we only cover mammograms. You'll have to pay $275. Exactly. So see, that's how it works. That's how it works. So if you do know, and then they're gonna make you pay for it, because you're not gonna get cancer by having a thermal scan, but you're gonna get cancer by having a mammogram. Every year, especially.
I find the worst type of physicians are the therapists, psychotherapists, psychologists, psychiatrists. These are the worst, in my opinion. Because you go in there, you talk to them for 5 minutes, already you got a prescription for Prozac. They're not there to help you through your problems. And you can talk to your best friend about your problems and make progress. You don't need to go see a shrink or a head shrinker to solve what's wrong with you, psychologically. If you suffer from depression and anxiety, talk to your friends, talk to your family. You'll get more comfort out of that than you will going to talk to a head shrinker and then getting a bottle of pills that just basically drive you to want to commit suicide.
Well, that's what it is. That's the whole point. It's absolutely true. And again, my research has come to the conclusion that you have depression or you have anxiety. Okay, so you're having a little, you wake up in the middle of the night feeling anxious and freak out a little bit. So they put you on, I don't know, Klonopin or something, something mild, and then the Klonopin gives you depression, and now they say, well, to help the depression, we're going to give you some Seroquel, which causes suicidal thoughts and tendencies, and then
antipsychotic.
Yes. and next thing you know, you were just having a little anxiety because you're behind maybe on your bills or something, or you had a bad, some stress in your life. and now you're on 3 different medications, and you want to kill yourself. It's it's obvious, and then they drug the children.
Yeah, and also, like, I'm going to say something personal here, and it's fine if it goes out to the people out there. It doesn't bother me because a few people know it. I was on clonazepam, I still am, and because I suffer from extremely high anxiety. It's not necessarily anxiety as it's more hyperactivity. I can't seem to calm myself down. My heart rate goes pretty high, my blood pressure goes pretty high because I get, with dealing with the truth movement, I get very angry. So
yes.
My heart rate decreases, you know, and I take it personally. And people say, don't take it personally. Well, I do. Anyway, so I went on clonazepam. I was on, I started out with 0.5 milligrams as needed. Only if I felt like a panic attack coming on, I would take one. And then after about a year of being on that, I noticed something. When I didn't take it at certain times, I became like, I would go through withdrawal symptoms.
Yes.
Thinking it was an anxiety attack, so I would take a pill. Then I went on the same dosage, but instead of as needed, it was every day. And I was on that for a while until they put me on twice a day of 0.5 milligrams, which is pretty powerful. And then I just said, fuck it, you know. I went back to the original dosage, which is as needed, 0.5 milligrams, and I went through the withdrawal symptoms. I went through all that shit. You know, but every now and again, I'll be at work and I'll feel the tension coming on, or I'll be on the air and I'll feel the tension coming on. You know, so instead of popping a pill, I smoke a cigarette. Yeah, that's not good for you either, but I'd rather smoke a cigarette. And, you know if I develop cancer, I think I got a good chance of beating it with all the alternative health therapies out there. But,
well, you should roll your own cigarettes, because then there's none of the bullshit in there. You can get
I get them.
Yeah.
I get them from because being native, I have access to Aboriginal cigarettes. I go to the reservation.
Oh, good.
And there's no chemicals in there. It's just natural tobacco.
Well, that's what you need. If you're gonna smoke natural, not the. You know, that's why they're killing us. You know, it's unbelievable. RJR. Who was it? The Reynolds was Reynolds, and who's the other big one? The tobacco companies.
Well, we have premium tobacco here. We have what's that big one? Imperial.
Imperial. That sounds right. Yeah, it's an appropriate name.
Yeah. Just call it World Order tobacco, because that's basically what it is.
Wow. But no, I again, when I'm getting into this whole thing with the pharmaceuticals, like it's just there are, again, the drugs are not for most people. I mean, it just got out of control. It was originally the idea of the pharmaceutical industry was to be an investment business, and that's what it is. It's for people to make money. They put these. Yeah. They have to keep making new drugs and keep marketing them and selling them on commercials. Don't worry about Orencia. Yeah, if it gives you cancer, talk to your doctor. No, it's cancer. Orencia is cancer. Lyrica causes cancer. 3/4 of these drugs cause cancer, but don't worry about it. Ask your doctor.
Yeah.
Why should we have to ask our doctor? Shouldn't he know?
That's the crazy thing, Howard. When you look at the advertisements on TV, for instance, something like you don't need, which is Viagra, because there's so many different ways you can get an erection, But you listen to the commercial, and then when it's about to end, they nail you with the side effects very quickly. And there are like severe consequences to taking this medication: heart attack, cardiac arrest, bladder infection, kidney infection, heart infection, meningitis, all these things. Just because you want to get a hard-on, you're going to risk having all of this?
Yeah, I agree. But people don't look at that, and the doctors say don't worry about it, because it's all complicit.
Yeah, it only affects 1 out of 1,000. Well, I don't want to be 1 out of 1,000. just tell your wife, the people out there that take Viagra, you guys, just tell your wife, read a couple of sex books. You'll have no problem getting a hard-on.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But yeah, no, it's a medical mafia, and again, in about 15 minutes after the top of the hour break, we'll be joined by Dr. Antonella Carpenter, who is not a MD, Chris. She is a physicist who worked for the military-industrial complex for 35 years. She's a whistleblower, and she came up with a technique that can kill the tumors using certain laser frequencies, lasers, and a dye that's made out of extract from walnuts and food. It's food coloring and saline.
And that's why they're trying to. That's why the FDA are trying to ban walnuts.
Exactly. And this is a very, very important segment for you folks listening and watching, and for history, because Dr. Carpenter can kill tumors with this technology, and she can do it without any surgery at all. What it does is it does take time, but the body naturally, as you know, Chris, would just takes care of the dead tissue.
Well,
it's dead tissue.
Right?
Yeah.
Our immune system is designed to fight off any type of foreign germ, if you will, or infection. Anything foreign that comes into your body rejects it. Well, cancer is foreign, so your body would naturally fight it off. But because it was designed in a laboratory, it was designed to kind of destroy your immune system. So if you go for chemotherapy, radiation therapy, well, those are destroying your blood cells, okay? The cells you need to fight off this infection. And it's also destroying your immune system. So if you go for chemotherapy or radiation therapy, you will certainly die. A horrible death. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been working in the so-called health field for almost 5 years now, going on 5 years. Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. And, it's just disgusting when you think about it. Like, I'm going to break some news to some people when we go into the next segment regarding, and I think I mentioned this to you, Howard. I don't want to give too much away until we go live with that segment. So anybody listening, get your friends to listen in, because this is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, this is going to be big. This is going to be an excellent hour.
Yeah. I'll give them a little bit of a hint here. It has to do with power of attorney and physicians, and then death. So you're going to want to listen into this, especially if you have loved ones who have terminal illnesses. So listen in, get everybody you can to listen into the show. It's going to blow your mind.
There's a lot on this, and there's again the nursing homes are I get into that all the time. Unbelievable how they work that out.
Well, see, we have a kind of like a psychic connection, Howard, you and I, because this has to do with nursing homes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, but it's part of it. Now I understand. I mean, I know where you're going with this, Chris. I know where it's going. And again, being you're an RN for 5 years. You know what the drugs do to people better than the doctors do, because the doctors just read Cell and Lancet, which is published by Reed Elsevier, so they just believe whatever they tell them, right? Oh, yeah, just do this. This is the protocol. This is the protocol. Here's the protocol. Stick this thing up your ass until it kills you, basically. I'm just kidding, whatever. So they just do what it said. So if it says jump off a bridge, you know, the doctors say, oh, it's a little unethical, I guess, or not unethical, unusual, but let's jump off that bridge, you know, because selling Lancet says jump off the bridge.
I don't forget, these doctors are paid, you know, a substantial amount of money to push certain medications on behalf of Big Pharma. On the patient.
Absolutely, and big time. In fact, here in Connecticut, there's a measure that they're putting through a law because there are some doctors in Fairfield and other counties that are abusing the system incredibly with regards to being on Big Pharma's payroll. For example, there's one doctor, dude, that was prescribing I don't remember the exact drug, but it was a painkiller, right? And it was like 5 times the amount of the last person that was the next person that was prescribing that particular painkiller who had. So that's how far out of whack it was. He was being paid $45,000 by the drug companies, and he was a drug pusher. He was prescribing painkillers to his patients in Fairfield County.
These are drug dealers, and they go into the private sector.
Legal drug dealer.
Well. Yeah, and they go into the private sector as well, these so-called doctors.
Yeah, so-called doctors sell scripts. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and the people that have the money, they sell the scripts, they make more money on top of that, and they give them more than what they need, just so they can make more money. And basically, these people are murderers. There's no easier way to put it. They are murderers. They are.
They're murderers, and again, this is going to be. Well, you haven't met Dr. C. She's very up, you know. Like you're gonna like her. I'm gonna see if this will. I don't want to. Just make sure I don't get an echo here, Chris, because my wife Maureen just stepped in the room, and I was gonna put speakers on instead of the headphones. Let me see if this works. Hang on 1 second. All right. Okay. All right, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I can hear you. I just don't want to make sure that I don't get feedback. All right. So talk a little, Chris, so I can get my level here.
Yeah. So everybody, you need to go out there, contact your friends, your family, and you need to listen into this next hour that we're going to be going into, because it's going to blow your mind. You're going to hear information that you've never heard before. Dr. Carpenter is going to be on with alternative treatments to cancer. You need to listen to this, because as you know, cancer is not well, basically I'll just say it out straight out like that to you guys, okay? Cancer was created in a lab, part of the eugenics program, to kill you. Okay, it's part of the slow kill. Most of you people, I don't have to tell this because you already know. But if you got people out there that are not awake, I suggest that you contact them and tell them to listen into Truth Broadcast Network with Howard Nema. In about 20 minutes or so, or 15 minutes or so, we're going to be going into this discussion with Dr. Carpenter, Howard Nema, and myself, Chris Freedom Flowers, and it's going to be an awakening hour.
Yes, it will. It's going to be big, and we can't dismiss how much the medical mafia has assaulted Dr. Carpenter by and COINTELPRO attacking her. That's why we were going to go into the COINTELPRO attacks. They're horrific. And she was sicked on by the FDA, who, like the Gestapo, came in with guns and everything else, AK-47s, flak jackets, the whole thing. The Food and Drug Administration came in, and they took all of her documents, all of her work. They took her lasers. They took $9,000 in cash out of a safe on a trumped-up warrant. They took her. Well, she ended up losing her house. Yeah, they didn't take her house, but she lost it. They destroyed her life in 3 months. It's unbelievable, and she'll go into that because she you know, that's it's just, and she's living through it. And right now they're in very hard times. She had to move in with her daughter, and it's just a rough situation, and nobody's giving them any light, Chris, except myself here and a couple of other broadcasters. It's really sad, and she has a cure for cancer.
We should be, like, in her case, right? Because she is somebody out there that's actually putting everything on the line to help us out. We should, and I'll do it on behalf of my Awaken United groups on Facebook, and set up a donation fund for her, so that way we could put money into this You know, everything will be, all the listeners out there who want to take part in it, and I'll explain it on my Facebook as well. What we could do is we'll have everything for you in case, you know, you start to question our integrity here. All the money will be documented, all the funds, whatever, will be documented. So that way you won't have to worry about your money going to someone like Bernie Madoff. Okay. And, yeah, so I think that's a good idea. Create some kind of donation through groups for her, and we could, you know, give that to her so that she could continue with this research and not have to worry about all the other crap that's going on and just focus on the main goal.
Well, that's what we would need to do. What we really would need to do, because she's so under. If she had her, see, the problem is they took her lasers. That's where you know, it's expensive. So they're very expensive. So she took they took her lasers, and again, now we know why the FDA wants to make walnuts a drug, because the walnut extract is used in the procedure that kills the tumors. So again, we're really in a situation that is, I mean, historically monumental, because I know there are over 30 patients that she cured, Chris, and the government got to them, as you know, and scared them. So they're willing to go on record, but not with their last names, and some of them are afraid to do anything. And she's out in the wilderness. She's been forsaken. You know, it's disgusting. Imagine you cure somebody's cancer, and then the government comes to you and says, you know, where's the integrity in this world? Where is the integrity in this world? Somebody cures you of a disease that you go to, and the government says, you know, there's going to be a problem if you support Dr. Carpenter. Or,
you know, and that makes absolutely no sense to me, Howard, because you all read these people had a death sentence, right? And she actually saved their lives, and they're going to turn their back on her.
That's right. It's
so
sickening.
They shouldn't be afraid of anything. They had a second chance. Most people don't get a second chance. You know, this woman, from what I've heard from you, sounds like an angel. Okay.
She is. She's totally an amazing person. What was that?
These people are going to betray an angel?
Yeah. You know, it's just unbelievable. Can you? Well, you know, it comes back down to being afraid, Chris. People are afraid to, even if they know the truth, they're afraid to. I don't want to get involved. What about here? I go back to what happened in Staten Island. A woman who has 2 children. They're drowning. Help me, help me. No one's helping her.
No.
That's that. Yeah. This is what's happening. It's a me society.
I mean, I remember years ago when we were watching the local news, Howard, where somebody had a heart attack in downtown Montreal. In broad daylight, in a very populated area, and people were just walking by while this guy was dying. He died on the street, and his body was left there for hours.
Dude, this guy in Hartford was hit by a car a couple of years ago, and he died. He was in the hospital for like 2 months, and the people were just looking at him. He got hit by a car. Yeah. An old man.
Yeah.
What is wrong? It's they're dumbed down, the fluoride. I mean, it's so much. It's the media. It's the mind control of that. I want to have that carrot. I got to keep chasing that carrot. I'm too busy to get, you know, that's all part of it too. It's disgusting. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're just about at that point where I'm going to be giving her a call, so we got to take a little break right here. Okay, this is the midpoint break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with Chris Freedom Flowers and Dr. Antonella Carpenter. Okay.
All right, bro.
Can you feel the pain? I'm the one who's got an aching brain. I feel low. I don't wanna be the one who's got to bring you down. I just wanna tell you every night that I breathe, I won't bring you all down. Oh, every day when I close my eyes, I can feel the hatred in their lies. Oh, yeah. I'm the one who's never come to bring you down, my love. Don't you worry about my love, baby. I can show you everything in our life. I feel alive. You know it's true. I wanna make sweet love to you.
You're watching We Are Change Connecticut on truthbroadcastnetwork.com, audio simulcast on Project Freedom Radio and informedradio.com.
Okay.
UN Agenda 21, bailout, sellout, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag, terror attacks, Bill Gates, anarchism, New World Order, mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, Mandarin, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind, prison system, poverty,
All right, bro.
plantations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years, the world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guide, soldiers written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to
Hey,
the
Howard,
lies.
do you have Harry's
hypnotize.
contact
We are
number
one
for the
nation,
show?
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Well, we're not.
Okay, we are back. This is Truth Talk News. Actually, We Are Change Connecticut. I keep calling it. I have a wrong back film there. Interestingly enough. Joined by Chris Freedom Flowers, my brother and patriot in liberty and freedom. Your name suits you, sir. Anyway, we are back. I'm going to be joining, adding to the call now, Dr. Carpenter and Randy Simmons. Let me just get them added in here. Skype, type. All right. Add people to the call. We're going to add. There's my list here. Randy Simmons and Dr. Carpenter. All right.
Hello.
You're there. Is that Randy? Hey, what's with the music? Where'd that music come from? Chris, was that you before doing the music? Somebody's hacking us with music again. Randy, are you there? Randy. All right, I'm gonna redo this. That's funny. This happened on the other broadcast. Yeah, we got hacked again. All right, I'm gonna end the call and start this thing over again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're still broadcasting here live, truthbroadcastnetwork.com. I'm Howard Nema. We are Change, Connecticut. Let's add everybody back again. Oh, I got to drop Barbara from the call. Barbara was listening on the call. I got to take her off that. Oh boy. Well, I'll just add them one at a time. Dr. Carpenter. Oh, okay, they're coming. Everybody there?
Hey.
Okay. Oh, Barbara,
Hey,
you. I'm sorry, Barbara. I didn't mean to call you. It's just I'm trying to get everybody on this call. I accidentally called you. You can.
Howard?
It's just I'm trying to get everybody on this call.
It's okay. I dropped.
I accidentally called you. You can.
Well,
Well, there's.
I'll just stay on and listen, Howard.
All right, there's a delay going on here. Somebody's got to. All right. Okay, that's fine. Randy, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting a lot of delay here. I don't know why.
Somebody's got their speakers on.
Yeah, I don't know. We're getting a lot of delay here. I don't know why. It shouldn't be happening at all. But let me just make sure everything's running smoothly here. Okay. That sounds better. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Randy?
But,
I hear you.
Barbara hung up.
Are you very well? Okay. All right.
Why did she hang up?
I don't know. She's not feeling well. Yeah. And I accidentally called her because it was like a group call. And I got to get Chris Freedom Flowers. I got to add him back in. I'm sure he'll call in a moment. Now, Chris Freedom Flowers is a very good friend of mine. He's a patriot. He's the reason that I actually got involved in my activism work here with the radio. And he happens to also be an RN and has quite a lot to say about Big Pharma and the medical mafia. So this will be...
To be what? To be what?
He happens to also be... He's a registered nurse. And he happens to have a lot of things to say about Big Pharma, so this should be interesting. Here he is. Let me add him to the call.
Okay.
Why is it not able to? All right, hold on. I might have to get you guys back. All right, Chris. I gotta figure out how to do this. I think I'm adding. I was trying to add all of you to the call, and I ended up calling Barbara. It's a little bit of a mess. So I'm gonna start this again. So let me add to you. I don't understand why this is happening. Alright. There we go. Add people to the call. Add Dr. Carpenter. Add Randy Simmons. Okay, we should all be there together now. Everybody there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're there. Alright, let me just... Well, they're on hold, though. That's probably why. Oh, shit. I think I gotta start this again, man. Oh, there we go. All right, Chris. They dropped. Let me add them again.
Okay.
All right. Sorry for the technical problems there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm calling them in. Are they there? They dropped off. Alright, they dropped off again. Call failed. Let me try this again, Chris. Call in again, Chris.
Okay, I'll call you back.
Alright. I don't know. Could be. Who knows? Call failed. Yeah. They hate her. In Oklahoma. Okay, we are live. Sorry, I'm having a little difficulty getting the call back here. I'm just going to... Alright. Okay, Chris, there you are. Let me add everybody to the call now. Dr. Carpenter and Randy. I don't know why the Skype was giving us a problem.
Well, I'm not surprised there's technical issues.
Yeah, I know.
What we've been talking about for 2 hours.
Come on. They dropped off again.
Well, they're added to the Skype call, right? They're added to the network's call list.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you could do is send them a message in their Skype and just tell them you've been trying to call, because maybe on their end too there could be like some type of technical issues. So you could just tell them to call into the station.
Let's see. 1 second.
It should be working. It should be working.
I'm trying to add them again. What's happening? It shows that she's not on. That's impossible. They're there. The call failed.
Well, it's possible that she could be targeted on her end.
Yeah, she's targeted on her end. We can't talk now. This is crazy. All right, let's try something else. Let me call you after I see you're a call number. I don't know how, I guess I could do. I know I can do that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I'm not a technically adept. I play guitar. But
Yeah.
let's see. Maybe I should just.
I think what you should do is I'll disconnect the call.
Yeah.
And then you try to add them, and then call me on my cell phone. The number's there on the Skype.
Yeah, I have your cell phone on the.
Yeah, so you could try that. If I don't hear back from you in like 5 minutes, I'll call you back.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Yeah, this is important. Of course. All right. All right.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Carpenter, Randy, and he's there. This is the whole group. Hello?
Mail of 4
Hello?
3 8 9 3 1 9 9 7 5. At the sound of the tone, please record your message.
Hey, we're on live. Dr.
Okay.
Carpenter, I finally got you.
Yeah,
I don't know what was happening there.
But we don't have Barbara now.
No, Barbara. We don't have Barbara. But my friend
We
Chris
had
is.
it a minute ago.
Yeah. Chris isn't there now.
I heard you lost some electricity.
I did. Chris, are you there? He's not there. All right. When he calls, he's going to call in, and Chris Freedom Flowers will be calling in, and I'll add him to the call when he does. Yeah, I for some reason had a lot of trouble getting back to you. I couldn't get back to you. It's very weird. But we're back together now. How are you, Antonella?
Terrible.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
What's
Anyway.
we haven't spoken in a couple of weeks, and you know.
You know that, what was it, 2 weeks ago, last week? I don't remember when 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Couple
I don't
weeks.
know, we had that car that was suspicious car snooping around.
No, I don't think he heard about that.
I didn't hear about that.
Well, I came back from the store and we were trying to get out of the car some of the grocery. But before I pull into the driveway, I noticed this car that came from behind me. It was going past me, but we live in a cul-de-sac, so there wasn't really anywhere to go. And it started slowing down and turned around and seemed to park in one of the driveway. Then it started moving, but inching around, inching very, very slowly till it came in front of our driveway. It saw us looking, so passed it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That the guy calling.
Oh?
Yeah,
Hello?
Chris.
Yes, I am here, my friend.
Okay, I'm getting better at this. Next time we do the show, it'll be all on air, and I'll get it right. Sorry for the delays, but this is real radio and live TV, whatever you want to call it. Okay, with no sweat either. Anyway, so sorry for the delays, but we're all together. So now you've been, Chris. It just appears that Dr. Carpenter has been targeted by a goon that's been following him.
My interpretation, and I saw it happening again another day, and it was the same thing.
Same
You
car?
know, it seemed similar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was the same car or not. I can't tell you. It's hard to tell when it's a small car. It's low to the ground, and my van is up high, so it's hard to tell, okay?
I saw the first one, and it had really dark tinted windows, and I never could make out a figure behind the steering wheel, but at the point where I put down what I was doing and just stared directly at the car, it moved.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, I
the
moved
government,
away, but
the government sanctioned people that like to follow others. The best way to find out, like, if in fact they are government agents, is the fact that they won't have a license plate.
This one had a license plate.
But that
It was,
doesn't.
it was an Oklahoma local
And
plate.
that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And the thing is that it was obviously trying to find out what I was doing, and I saw it at another time. And I see my schedule is rather irregular, so they can't really. And what are they think that they're gonna discover? But
They just want to know everything about you, Doctor.
Yeah, they want to know what I'm doing. That's it, because I keep getting all these weird emails, suspicious one. Where are you located? Where is your facility? And they
What
give me
facility?
Yeah.
You took the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, they set the whole thing up too, Chris. I didn't give you really any background, but they had set them up, and they set up an appointment for treatment, and it turned out that the patient was the FDA.
Yeah. Well, that's not surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it isn't really. And then they took everything. And then, I mean, it was after years of ruining me financially with lawyers on nonsense. It's disgusting. And they're doing it to a lot of other organizations. I mean, I was talking about on our program today, the medical conspiracy, I was talking about what they're doing to compounding pharmacies now.
Mm-hmm.
All the competition to big pharma is being attacked. Okay? I was a big competition to big pharma, even though we're so small. I mean, come on. Because people were not taking drugs coming to us. See? So they're after anything that reduces the revenues. Don't tell me that they are now bribed and paid off by big pharma. That's ridiculous. They are. And this is allowed to happen. FDA is controlled by Big Pharma. It's paid off. This is bribery. It's not any different than what happens in Mexico. Nothing. Or in South America. Bribery galore. Only they call it lobbying in the United States.
That's right.
Different name, but it's the same thing. And FDA is there to do the dirty work of Big Pharma. Because their complaint was that 3 people died. Aside from the fact that 3 patients of ours died, when and how? After they did not believe that they were told they were not cured, they will not believe what I was saying, and they went for standard treatment, and they died. But then, oh, they died because they came to me years before. So, I mean, what kind of ridiculous statement is that? 3 people complained. Now, about the compounding pharmacy, 25 people died. It's true that they died for what they were selling, the steroid injection they were selling, I don't know. But how does that compare to the hundreds of thousands of people killed by chemo?
Exactly, and I can tell you, working in the healthcare system, you know, in nursing, I've seen so many patients die from chemotherapy when they were expected to live, for an example, a year. They would die a few months later. You know,
sometimes they die a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they die a few days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know because I talk to patients all over the place, even the ones that don't come. They tell me stories of their relatives or what happened to friends. It is the same story. There are some that die after a couple of injections.
Yeah.
Not
true.
months. It seems to me, I mean, my point, you can confirm it for what you see. It seems to me that the patient die really of treatment before they even have the chance of dying of cancer.
Yes.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
Yeah. So, I mean, how
It's
can
part
that
of the
be allowed?
eugenics. It's part of the eugenics, Dr. Carpenter.
Yeah, but they can't kill them. They cannot die too fast. Otherwise, they don't make enough money out of them.
Well, they make plenty. It's a tremendous,
that's
tremendous
what they call-
cost. Tamoxifen, for example.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what they call the slow kill, Howard.
Slow
So
kill.
you slow them, milk more money out of you. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's how they make their money.
And when they say, we have made a lot of improvements over the years, yes, because years ago people were dying a lot faster, and so they changed that so they last longer and they can make more money out of them before they kill them.
Yeah, and the end result is the same. They die.
Yeah.
They just died, you know.
Except that they
live longer.
suffer. Yeah, they
Yeah.
suffer too before they die.
Terribly
for sure.
suffer. Yeah, they terribly suffer. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me, you mentioned tamoxifen, you know, is horrible. And what gets me is that the Common Foundation protected AstraZeneca, and they went to an FDA hearing to defend AstraZeneca, the Common Foundation. Yeah, it was the only company that defended AstraZeneca and tamoxifen. It was
Well,
the
when
only
you,
one.
well, in your viewpoint, like, well, obviously we know. I mean, cancer is a tumor, right? A tumorous growth.
Well, it could be a lesion if it's skin cancer or
If-
skin of an organ.
Okay.
You know,
so
so it could.
the whole idea is that they have this allopathic method of cutting and radiating and instead of
Poison.
poisoning, instead of treating the actual cancer by killing the tumor.
Right, or killing the lesion. You know, the
So
malignant
is it
growth.
strange that walnuts are now, they want to make walnuts a drug because the walnut extract is utilized in your technology that helps
Well,
to kill the tumor? Think about it.
Well, the walnut were before because the Diamond food company claimed that the fatty acid in the walnut really help heart problem. And so they can't
So it's for a
use
heart
it.
problem? Oh, okay. I just thought that was very strange. Chris and I were thinking that was strange, right, Chris?
Yeah.
It is just like cherries.
By the time of the
Cherry
raid, though,
gro-
you weren't. I was just going to say,
Yeah.
by the time of the raid, though, you weren't using the walnut extract, right?
No, it can be used at times, but I mean, I'm not using it ordinarily, but it can be used, okay? But so what? It's not that the walnut extract, it was just an issue of color, it has nothing to do with
just so that you could see
medical
what you had to
ability.
deal with, right?
No,
So-
it's not always see. What it is that when you inject into the tumor, the color of the tumor changes and it will absorb the light. But the healthy tissue does not retain anything and it will not absorb the light. So you only kill the tumor and nothing else. It's very simple.
Have the complementary color to the light that's actually being projected.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's not like chemotherapy where it actually kills all of your cells and it
kills
your
everything.
immune system.
Yeah. And then your white count goes so down that you can die from just that. But then they have the solution. They have Neupogen. That can bring up your white count. A Neupogen injection costs $24,000 per injection.
Yeah, sounds like it's again, it's all about money and you know.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting, and that's what they did. And with all that money, they paid FDA, and FDA created all that.
Well, they go
mess.
after all the any type of natural or holistic cure or ideology. They try to shut them down. I mean,
yeah,
Codex Alimentarius, everything.
But the thing
Well, and the hard
is,
thing
though,
about Dr. C is she's kind of stuck in the middle between, it's not exactly homeopathic. I don't know. It is homeopathic.
It's definitely it's.
But you're using a technology, though.
You're using a technology, but it's not. Whatever you want to call it.
It's holistic.
It's holistic. That's the right word to use. It doesn't cause any long-term damage or effects or side effects
and even short-term damage doesn't cause. It only causes damage to the tumor, which is what you don't want to grow. And feel good. And let me tell you, the problem is I made terrible enemies of the alternative practitioner too, because a lot of things they use actually feed the tumor instead of killing it. They can control, maybe at best they can control the growth, but they cannot kill it. And in some cases they don't control the growth, they actually speed it up, like a vitamin C infusion. So I have enemies in all directions. See, and it's a bad thing to be in, because you have the solution. Like one of my patients told me, I really admire you for insisting and hanging on. It works, and you're fighting back. And that's the thing. I cannot stand to see patients suffer, being mutilated, going around with no hair, and suffering because their liver is being destroyed. They're being hurt, and then radiation causes other cancer, and so does chemo. I cannot stand to see that when I know there is a solution that it's easy, simple, and inexpensive. Relatively speaking, because of all the cost they put on me.
Well, that was one of the things that they had said. That was one of the complaints they had. That these treatments that they're accusing you of bilking these people, but these cancer treatments cost 10 times as much.
A lot more than 10 times, because one injection of chemo, one infusion of chemo, cost between $25,000 to $30,000. Okay. Our treatment doesn't get to that. The average is 5 days. The average is, and it used to be less, but with all the expenses we have had, we had to increase the prices, and it's still about $8,000. But that's once and for all, and that's it, and you're done. And anytime they call for consultation, everything is free. That's the only expense. It's now one injection of chemo. You know how many injections of chemo you need, and then oops, that set didn't work, so we need to do more. They are talking about the average cost of a patient that doesn't die too soon. Apparently, used to be 1.2 million. I don't know what it's gotten to now.
That's outrageous. And then your quality of life just keeps going down. But I mean, what does somebody do when they get cancer? These days, I mean, the only thing you can do is change your diet, and if you have like I don't know what could you do? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, see, that's the thing. The alternative practitioners say it's the diet that causes cancer. No, it isn't. It is not the diet that causes cancer. What causes cancer is environmental pollution and drugs. The biggest offender are drugs. People have a sore toe and they go in for medication. See, people have got this fixation of taking medication all the time. You're not supposed to do that. Stay away from drugs as much as possible. Fight. Don't take drugs, because they cause us all sorts of health problems, and they all end up into cancer anyway. So the diet, it's a, if it does something, is minor. There are only drugs. And I mean, I talk to the patient and I ask him what they were taking, what they were doing, and it always comes back to that. Depending on the type of cancer, there is a different drugs that causes it. So it's not. Now, when you go to an alternative practitioner, say, well, we'll starve the tumor so the tumor will die. Yeah, well, that's another discussion. Like, is it going to die before you do? Yes, it might slow down the growth, but the problem is that you're suffering also because you're not getting all the nutrients. And it's not the bad food you have been intaking that caused the cancer. It's the bad environment and the drugs. The food, yes, you should eat healthy food, but healthy food does not mean raw diet or no meat.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying. So what? But what do you do? I mean, as far as instead of you know that if you cut, again, Chris, you're a nurse. You know, once they cut, that you're done. That's when it spreads, right?
Well, you don't open up a patient. You never open up a patient that has cancer because they will spread faster than a wildfire.
Oh, I am glad you said that because I've been saying that for years. You open it up.
He's a nurse.
Oxygen. Yeah, but you know, a lot of people deny that. Even if they have a medical degree, they keep saying, "Oh, oxygen killed cancer." Oh, really? That's why when you open up a patient to do surgery, it starts growing like crazy? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And that's a fight I have with the alternative practitioner. You cannot open up a patient and remove. But people think, the lump is gone, so I'm fine. No, you're not. You're worse off than you were before. Because before was encapsulated. Now you remove it. Start growing like crazy when you expose it. It will start spreading. So you're in serious trouble. You do not cut it. Chemo destroys your liver, causes all sorts of problems, and causes more cancer. Radiation causes bone cancer, lung cancer, all sorts of cancer. You cannot do anything that are part of the standard.
So what do we do?
My friend used black salve, and this black salve on it, and it disappeared.
Well, I'll tell you what you don't do, Howard. I'll tell you what you don't do. If you have cancer, you do not, under any circumstances, go for chemo or radiation so-called therapy. You stay away from that. Because that will kill you. That will give you different types of other cancers.
But it also will kill you a lot faster than cancer would.
Oh, yes.
But what do you do? See, that's the problem. When you go for the dieting, the alternative, all those supplements, the supplements and immune system boosters, they give you the impression that you're feeling good. The lump is still there. You're feeling good. But you know what? The cancer is feeling good also. And it's growing a lot faster. So you have to really be careful. Yes, you can be on a diet, and the diet can slow down the growth of the cancer because you're not getting enough nourishment. So, and then they give you the immune booster, so everything is masked, and you think you're doing better, but you're not. You're in trouble. The hyperthermia, in most cases, is the answer, but unfortunately, that is it. Hyperthermia, whole body hyperthermia, is not sufficient because you do not reach the right temperature. Localized hyperthermia is the same. What we do is the answer, but they don't want to hear it. I need help with people to work with me so it can become standard treatment.
Yes, that's what we got to do. We got to wake people up.
I know, and they won't. They just can't wake up. I don't understand why. Oh,
well, one reason is you have an information machine out there, care of a fellow by the name of Alex and another fellow by the name of Mike, that is inundating the truth community with all kinds of
misinformation. Yeah. Oh, Duke Calcima. Yeah, it's great for you. Yeah, sure, it's great for spreading the cancer and making a mess out of it. Why the establishment is not doing anything about it? Because they know that once people are in trouble, what they do, they run for standard treatment, so they get them eventually.
And how many of your patients actually tried to contact Mike Adams and say, look what is happening here? Is there a word?
No.
Word one said about it? No.
No. Say, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk what happened to Dr. Carpenter, what they did to her? No, he talks about Brzezinski. Brzezinski, maybe in the 90s, maybe. I don't know. Maybe in the 90s was on the level. But now, all he does, yes, he pushes his stuff, and then it says, well, it didn't work for you, so you need chemo. And he puts everybody on chemo, and I know that because of patients that said, I'm not going to do that, and they left and they came to us.
I have gotten into fights with strangers over that.
Yeah.
They don't want to believe it. They just don't want to believe it.
Do you have that, Randy? You have that clip, that my favorite little clip, handy? Pull that one up. Pull that one. Chris will appreciate it.
Oh, I bet you I know what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is. You know which clip I'm talking about.
Give me a second.
Yeah, take your time as we speak. Yeah, go. Good. That's fun. That'd be fun.
Here. I don't have it loaded.
But yes, I mean, they're again. It's the controlled opposition. It's the control. You know, we have to control. Yeah, we don't want to have chemo and radiation, but we're going to control the information. Yeah. So it does leave you in a position where if you do get cancer, you know, killing the tumor, like you said, with by freezing it, right? That's probably at this point. You know, other than your treatment is like the only, to try it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Freezing it is no penetration. Okay, almost no. So it might work.
You got to get penetration. No, I'm just kidding.
It might work for skin cancer.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry,
guys. Man, it's a male disease.
Did you find?
Yeah, Howard, here it is. I found it. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. You'll like this.
Okay.
lasemedinc.com. Call 702-953-0267. We hear a lot about cancer cures out there in the media and alternative media. Oh, there are alternative treatments that can get rid of individual tumors, but it isn't always a cure because it could have metastasized. So that's a little health alert. And there is no shielding unless you're talking about a large lead-lined bag, and then the phone wouldn't transmit, that will block the radiation from a cell phone to your head. And I have to just say that as a health thing, because people need to know that there is no little device you can just hook on a cell phone that's going to block the cell phone radiation from your head. I just cannot sit here and not tell you that, okay? Oh, I can't handle it anymore.
Okay.
Wait.
He was talking about two things. The two ads before his show restarted. One was advertising for Lesmedinc. The other one was advertising for a device that is supposed to shield the he calls it radiation. Those are radio waves. Okay? Radio waves do not cause cancer because they were too long waves to cause cancer. They are not ionizing radiation. That causes cancer. But a cell phone does not have ionizing radiation. It's just a piece of garbage coming out of his mouth. He's ignorant and he's dishonest. There is no connection. 12 inches of lead are for gamma rays, not radio waves. Okay, and so that is disgusting, and people don't know, and they believe him, and that's what the problem is. And then about the metastasize, okay? The metastasize happens, as you know, with surgery, chemo and radiation. That's not even metastasis, okay? Chemo and radiation are cause cancer, independent from the original source. Now, surgery does spread it. The metastasis per se doesn't really exist. But he is giving he's ignorant too, but he's giving misinformation. And
no, he's very smart. He knows exactly what he's doing.
I'm just trying to get the word out.
Yeah, I was going to say, you find that clip. That's the funniest one. That's the best.
That's the one he
I'm
wants.
just trying to be honest here and get the truth out.
Alex Jones is the cancer
I'm just trying to get the word out.
Right.
I to sit here and be a moral person and do the right thing.
That's it.
Just trying to be a moral person. Sorry.
There is a commercial coming on Orion, right? It's coming on soon.
It's not on yet. It's not on yet.
It's not on yet, but it's coming.
Well, yeah, one of the techs at Orion heard me doing my Alex impression. He says, "Well, here's a script. They're going to make it into a little promo for."
Oh, that's
Orion.
cool, man. Yeah, he's just funny. It's just like my Bill Clinton and Alex Jones talking. It'd be hilarious. Well, I didn't have sex with that woman. I didn't inhale.
But
that depends. That depends on what you mean by is.
Okay. What I I am saying, though, is that is such an insignificant issue. We're talking.
Oh no, I'm just having some fun, just a moment of levity, a moment of levity, Dr. C.
But see, that's the problem. And then people distract the public from the actual problems with nonsense. Okay, it's absolute nonsense, and they wasted the entire administration of Clinton over nonsense. Things that everybody has ever done in politics since the beginning of time. Actually, some were even pedophiles. Okay?
Well, actually, it's good. It was good because that way Clinton was able to weasel his way to get Glass-Steagall repealed, which of course led to all the misery we have now, and of course the Affordable Housing Act.
Yeah,
we didn't hear about the Glass-Steagall thing long a time
I
ago.
don't want to.
That's right.
Yeah, but what I am saying though is there has been, with the help of the government, an absolute cover-up of the fact that a cure for cancer does exist. Why else would they attack us and refuse to do the proper testing? I've always been asking. I even put up that video that says put up or shut up. These are the type of testing you can do to verify that the tissue is dead. No, everybody I contacted has refused to do it. University, everybody has refused to do the proper testing. Labs, why? Because the proper testing will show that the tissue is dead, and they will not allow that.
Right. Well, that would be obvious. If the tissue is dead, it can't spread.
The truth to come out.
Right.
It's the 9/11 Commission. It's
same thing.
It's the Medical 9/11 Commission.
And listen, you probably didn't hear our show, but I was discussing this. They started again with this nonsense. They do the ultrasound with the color Doppler, and the color Doppler gives you the image of the blood flow. There is no blood flow in the mass. How can they say that it's still growing? No blood flow means no life.
That's right. So the only other alternative would be, like, if you have a tumor and it grows, is to be feeding it.
Right. And there is flow inside the tumor. It's capillary, but they do have ultrasound equipment that see the capillary flow. That's how they do it. And actually, some advanced places are using it for preliminary testing for and diagnosis of cancer. Because if there is no visible flow inside, there is nothing going on. It's dead. Life does not go on without blood flow. But they're actually telling the patient that for cancer it doesn't matter. It can be alive anyway, even without blood flow. Really, how? And that's what they're telling them, even when the evidence is there that there is no blood flow inside the tumor. Oh no, it's still a tumor. It's just unbelievable. They will not do the proper testing and will not tell the truth because they do not want to see something that simple and relatively inexpensive that can resolve the problem without making the patient sick and eventually kill it.
Well, you said it yourself. It's just the cost of the treatment.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose that money. You know how much money the big pharma makes on cancer patients alone?
I know, billions. Yeah, billions.
Billions.
A couple of million per patient, probably.
Yeah. And the thing is, but that is supposed to be health care. That is supposed to be helping the public, not ripping them off. And that's my complaint.
You know what it is, Dr. Carpenter? It's health scare. That's what it's about.
They use fear. They use fear to...
Health scare, that's a good word.
Yeah,
because when someone's afraid...
Yeah.
When somebody is afraid, they become desperate. So, they don't think.
They don't think, and they're being controlled. It's just the same with they're doing the same with the weather. You must obey. You must listen to the directive, and you must follow directive. You cannot fight. That's another form to get people to conform to what they're being told. The same with cancer. You're going to die if you do not follow what we tell you. And if you go for an alternative treatment, you're wasting precious time. You know, how many times have we heard that word?
Yeah.
Heard.
Well, and going back to what Dr. Carpenter said earlier about metastasizing, if you've noticed, the patients that have been told that their cancer has metastasized, all these patients, I guarantee you, the majority, almost all, will be told this after they've had surgery.
Yes.
Yes.
Or chemo, yeah.
Or if they went for alternative treatment, they've had vitamin C infusion. See, the vitamin C in massive amount becomes a corrosive, and it corrodes the encapsulation and makes the cancer metastasize. Spread, really, is not a metastasis. Metastasis should be natural. It's just spreading because of what they did. So, but it's
and that article. What was that article?
Yeah.
It was. We talked about it a few months ago. It was a groundbreaking article that finally we were like, holy crap! You know, they admitted it that chemo promotes metastasis, and what was the commentary by this doctor? Oh, that doesn't mean you should stop taking your chemo. We just need to create some new adjuncts. We just need to create some new adjuncts to just.
That will stop that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy on us all.
I know, but that's what I am saying. It's not going to happen on its own. We have to stand up and fight because they're not going to do it. The government is only going to take us for more and more rides. And nobody
what bothers me is that if somebody wants to somebody has cancer and they want to seek out your treatment, Dr. Carpenter, they should have and do have the right to do that.
Absolutely. I know.
Their choices
they
just
should.
got limited.
It's just unbelievable, and then, like you said, the medical mafia murders. You know, they're saying, oh, 3 people died. How many people died in the time it took, but for them to raid your office? Think about it. A lot more than 3 people. In the time that they left that office, probably thousands of people were dead.
Yeah, I know.
Listen
And
to
the
this,
one that
Howard.
Yes, Chris.
In our where I work, okay, we have a unit, an oncology unit, where there's probably about 15 patients who are receiving chemotherapy or radiation therapy. Within 3 months, all of those patients will die.
Yeah.
And they're going to complain about 3 people passing away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all false flag.
Yes, but
False
also,
flag.
why did they die? Those people that died, the 3 people that died, why did they die? Not because they're trying to make it look like they had a treatment and then they died. No, they had a treatment they were going through because we don't remove anything, that tissue is left in place, so you have to give the body the time to flush out that tissue, and it's a very slow process. Well, when they were going through that stage, they were told, oh, your tumor is still there. So you still have cancer. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to do that. Some took alternative things that push the tumor out of the skin and look like a mess. See, you still are in trouble. It's growing. No, it's not growing. It's decomposing. And
Right.
decomposing that tissue spreads. It doesn't mean that it's grown. There's a dead body that
It's
swells.
fat for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, and
that's
one
what
of them, the one that the news exploited the most, you know, and the court exploited the most, she had a second form of cancer. A second form of cancer that nobody ever said a word about until you found it in her folder. When
Yeah, and I made a video, and then after that, we were raided. Because I dared to tell the truth and expose their lies. It was just unbelievable. So they want to shut me up. I'm not allowed to tell the truth. I'm not allowed to operate. I'm not allowed to have results. I'm not allowed to have people, to help people. And there are a lot of people out there that are alive and well because of what we did.
I know. And it's a sin. I mean, it's just horrible. It's so evil. It's beyond evil. It's just like, I mean, you know, no, we don't want you cured. We just want to take your money and keep doing it and kill you because we need more death. We don't want cure.
Yeah, and anybody that dares to try to bring in something that actually resolve the problem, well, that's a fraud. We have to stop them immediately because they're a fraud.
Again, it's not just money. As much as money has a big factor in it, they really do want to kill the people. So, I mean, the elite. That's the key point.
That's illegal.
It's not just, and Howard,
that's the agenda.
It's not just like big pharma. You also have to look at some of these, and this is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, the food, sure.
As well. It's certain physicians, doctors, so-called doctors in my area, who go to nursing homes, elderly care facilities, who have where patients have no family, no friends, and they have a lot of money. So what happens is the doctor goes in there constantly, you know, pretending to care, pretending to show emotion, and to eventually get Howard returning over these patients so that when they pass away, everything that belongs to these patients and go to the doctor.
That's terrible.
So they get rich off these patients as well.
And you know how they kill
It's like the
them too?
conservatorship issue that, like Charles Castle in California.
And then they put in jail. What was his name? Because he was
Kevorkian.
helping people.
Kevorkian, yeah.
Because he was helping people that wanted to die. You know what else
Yeah.
they do? If the patient doesn't die fast enough, they say, "Oh, this patient is in pain. We're gonna give him morphine to make him comfortable," and they kill him off with morphine.
The
That's right.
Yeah,
Liverpool
it's the same
protocol.
thing. That's
The
the
Liverpool
same thing that
protocol.
Kevorkian was doing.
Yeah, you know that as a nurse, you know that they kill them with morphine, don't you?
Oh, yes, I know. They call it a cocktail. It's morphine diluted with Ativan and tons of other medication. They call it comfort care. It's not comfort care because while the body might be paralyzed, the brain is still there. They're still conscious. While they're in a coma, but they're still aware of what's going on. So they actually do psychologically feel death.
Yeah, they
horrible.
really abuse them. And you know what they did to some of my patients? Some of my patients came after taking chemo. See, I can kill the tumor, but I cannot reverse the damage done by chemo, okay? I can kill the cancer, whatever it is, and they can recover, but I cannot eliminate the damage done by chemo. And this patient was on Arimidex, okay? Arimidex. Arimidex, is, you must know, has horrible side effects, and one of them is it makes him, beside blood clot, it makes breathing very difficult. Okay.
Yeah.
So she needed oxygen. She was in trouble. She was collecting fluid in the lungs. She was going to the hospital. Well, the hospital decided that her breast cancer was progressing, and she was in pain, and she was in trouble. She needed morphine, and she said, "No, don't have any pain," because the tumor was dead. And they said, "No, that's not possible. You're in pain." "No, I'm
my
not
God.
in pain. I do not want morphine." And you know what? They gave it to her anyway, and they killed her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. I mean, it's
It's revolting.
It's like that Nine Inch Nails song. I do not want this, and don't you tell me how I feel. Don't you tell me how I feel.
But that's what they do because, and another thing they want to do is when they see a patient, I am positive they recognize that is dead tissue. So what they say, "Oh, you have to have surgery immediately," because they want to eliminate the evidence. See, once they do surgery and remove the breast, remove the lump, how can I prove that it was dead? So that's what they want to do immediately, jump on it. And some patients believe it and do it. Stupid.
And see, this
but-
is the stuff you talked about in that video series. That month
Right.
later, you had people at your door. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
6 agents and 2 policemen.
yeah.
Because the FDA was planning to arrest me for something, and unfortunately, stealing all my data and all my information, they couldn't find anything that would justify that.
Well, the entire arrest warrant was a fraud. I mean, it was fictitious. It was
Yeah.
fabricated.
A
Yeah,
retail
because
store.
Because
You're
they
running a
said
retail store.
Yeah, you had a retail
Right.
store. You were selling drugs. You were
adulterated drugs.
adulterated
That's-
drugs. I mean, there was a million
Okay.
things they were saying.
I know, ridiculous, and none of which we were doing.
You were
But that's
manufacturing a dangerous drug. That was one of the claims, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah. It took them
And I
3
was
years to
adult-
manufacture those claims.
Yeah.
and I was holding adulterated equipment. I'm holding it for interstate sale.
Well, listen, we got the warning bell coming here, so I just wanted to thank you guys for joining us. We're going to have to do this again and go into this in much
Okay.
more detail. Thank you to
Okay.
Chris Freedom Flowers, Dr. Antonella Carpenter, and Randy Simmons.
Hey, nice
Okay,
meeting
now,
Chris. I've heard
thank
good
you
things
guys.
about you.
Now we have we're going to have American Infidel with it's coming on right next here on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. I want to give a thanks out again also to Bobby K at Project Freedom Radio. God bless you all, and death to the New World Order.
Thanks, Howard.
Good night.
Right.
Thanks, everybody. Tune in Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Truth Talk News on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. See you next week.